Good evening. Thank you for being here.
Good evening.
Uh, okay. Yeah, again on the next Friday, uh, I just need a bit of an early break. So, uh, yeah, your comments could be questions or it could be observations or it could be something uh, that happened to you because of the processes that we're playing with, whatever. Okay. Tonight. Any comment about last week? What we cover last week? Brad's blank. He
La-
wasn't here.
Last week was that the under is here and now. That
Oh,
which is
okay.
under is here and now.
Okay. Anything on that before we start with tonight's? Trying to have you be in a friendlier relation with all of these energies that we call under energies. Uh, Getting past this, they scare me, they make me too nervous, da 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 da. And to find out they're really allies, they're supportive. I sometimes call them vitamins, and your system character needs vitamins. And at first, they're kind of thicker, but as you go finer and finer, you realize they're finer, they're nicer. A lot of nice qualities there. I mean, a universal amount of beautiful qualities. No
So,
comment? Yeah.
well, so would you say that maybe another way to say this is that that which is under is available for mixing, coming up for, in
That's its
response
job.
to, yeah.
Yeah, that's its job. It's not just available, so I don't have to work so hard. At first, you have to work a little bit to set up and to touch it and open to it, but get away from the sense of work. That's what it wants to do. That's why you ought to know where get nervous or get pushed or get whatever. It's trying to activate. Okay. Unfortunately, we're a little bit above it, so often we're being activated in a negative way. But there are some days where you're activating, you wake up for no reason, feeling great. All's well. Um, but even those things that frazzle you are good stuff if we get a little deeper or better, finer dimension of them. Same difference, a little deeper in furs, a little more room where they can show what they really are. Okay, so monsters, too heavy a word for many of you, are really allies, there to support you. Okay. Yeah, Kenny?
Yep.
That was Kenny, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yep.
Sensei, this is Patrick.
Yes, Patrick. Oh, Patrick, who had a little about some of the under. Yes, Patrick.
That one, the very same. I wanted to comment about the words that you use and that Susan used about lining up to a situation or aligning to a situation or a problem, and the value of bringing that to the two things, that it's something that we need to actively do in order to allow the energies to sort of emerge in the most helpful way.
Yeah, we'll cover that lineup a little bit tonight in this different form of laying stuff out. So I hope we touch on it again. But it also struck me how important it was for Susan to line up. And I don't know if she said it last week on the show, but when I talked to her on the phone prior to that, she really put a lot of emphasis on how much she likes the lineup, with a sense of how important the lineup was for her. And she may have mentioned it last Friday, but again, I want to reiterate, she really said that's important. That's a something. Yeah. We'll try to bring it up. I think tonight it fits in again. Okay, we all here?
Sensei, one other last point, Justin, in Miami. I wanted to piggyback on what Patrick said, and Susan from last week. For example, in lining up with a patient for counseling, I may settle and open and access some sensing, feeling. And I've noticed, as I'm sure you guys have, besides lining up more clearly, finely with my situation, other elements that are in play in work and the center and the world around me outside of that one particular also sort of click into place in a way harmoniously that they didn't before, regardless of what my individual lineage might be in that moment. Is that clear? Or
I don't know. Again, I'm going to ask,
okay.
are you saying that in taking the time to line up to a patient, settle, get to a level that has more feeling, a level finer, has more sensing, whatever, in doing that with your client, then you happen to notice that when you go out for lunch and things seem to work better. You drive better, your order comes in clearer, whatever. Is that what you said?
Exactly. Other things
Yeah.
fall into place like that, besides just the client-centric lineup.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that brought you to a certain level, and you retain to whatever degree that level. And from that level, driving, looking in the world, the odds and ends that come up are handled better. Yeah, should be so. Yeah.
Thank you, Sensei.
Yeah. Good. Thank you.
Sensei,
Yo.
Sean here. I was wondering, you sometimes use the word presence. And when you say better,
Presence.
presence. Yeah,
Presence,
presence.
okay.
So when you say, you sometimes will say better, you trade in yourself for a better and a better. That's a different level of presence. Am I correct?
Yeah. Yeah. Each we're kind of talking about what I'm going to call the center character line here. That as it is experiencing itself, it's present to some degree in that situation. Sometimes you're not fully present as fully as you could be, and you're trying to do the technique, and I'll jump on you and I'll say, you're not present enough. Basically, what I'm saying is open again, it's going to mix up better, and you'll be with that better more present. Is that
yes.
right?
And sometimes I've heard you say you've used the two terms opposite one another, or not opposite, but in pair, saying presence and awareness. Awareness and presence.
Yeah.
Circle and center.
Yeah, that's what will be on tonight's class.
Okay.
Just a different angle, but on that. Yeah.
Yep. I was just getting the words right.
Yeah. See, in previous pictures, and I could find it here, I did the half of the universe, just the white paper, and the other half, and I made it all dark. So I broke up the universe into that form. Okay, it's okay. Now we're taking a little different angle on the universe, and I'm saying, okay, now we're going to look at the circle of it, representing the situation, and that's why I drew those little lines that represent situation, I think. And that the character will be mixed in relation to the situation. Are we okay so far? That this picture here is kind of showing the big picture, okay? So in this circular space, now we're looking at the big universe here. In this circular space, there are two forces that come into play now. Okay, so first there's a circular space, and suddenly here comes this force that we're going to a little tighter down called situations. Okay, on another discussion we could call it the great mind of things. For me, it's a she, the great she of things. By the way, if you think it's a he, that's fine. Just Osensei would say be consistent. That's all. Okay, and where am I? Oh, two. So there's this great she of things and a great he of things. And now you have this great universal harmony where these two aren't separate, they're overlaying each other. Okay. Am I getting too far off here? That's the big picture. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we have to start here and say, well, how do we get into the finer and finer and finer and finer to be more in balance of the big picture, a la Osensei. He was fantastic at this. Okay. So tonight we're going to do situation has a partner called character. Character is in relation to the situation. Okay. If we're okay, let's see. Do I want to? Let me stand here. It'd be easier to show it. Oh, and I'll use this camera here, I guess. Okay, where are you? Camera? There you are. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's say there is a situation happening. Okay. Okay. Here. There is a class I have to teach. Okay, or guide or mentor. That's the situation. That's the situation. Now, the second part, which is a little bit behind in the human condition, is the character that is proper in that situation. Okay? We're blurring up there, Brad? Brad's blurring us. It's not me, it's Brad.
Sensei, could you please look at camera 2? Please, yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I'm just checking to see that both cameras are blurred. Okay, hi there.
Over here. Thank you, Sensei.
So I'm in a situation, okay? Now what I would like to play is not to continue in the situation by using the first brain kind of thing, and how can I improve it, and on and on. I want to go to the second very important piece, easy. It's its own piece. It's the centered part. Being more grounded, there is a center, and around the center, energies that I've opened to at this level, mix up a character who is the mentor or leader. And the character at this moment, character. Just kind of a be calm kind of, it's talking to itself, or talking about itself. Okay, I'll be calmer so that I can present clearer. Okay. So here's a character that's in relation to the situation, step one. Okay. If I were to continue, still in the situation, I go back to the character, let him have the full stage. Okay. That's where ground could come in as a reference. Ground, center, energies mix up. And they mix up a character. Because I did it a couple of times, character should be a little bit better. And it's a continuation. This character wants to speak a little bit better. This character is saying, I want to stop a moment between certain words, not blur my words together kind of thing. I notice there's starting to be a glow from the character a little out there. And I can see where that would facilitate the audience having a feeling for what I'm saying, not just hearing my words, but hopefully, especially those who are sensitive out there, are feeling this radiation. For me, it feels like a faint, for me, character feels like a radiation. There's a woo going out there. Katja's standing over there. My feeling is she ought to feel this radiation. Okay. So could you see that in public speaking where the speaker, there's a radiation coming out from the speaker to the audience? They're being touched better, that kind of thing, okay? All right, break time here. So what I think is happening is we don't give enough time for the character development. We get, I'm using the word, excuse me, I'm using the word tonight, muddled, that we get a bit muddled. Oh yeah, I'm aware a character is going to do this. And it's not really the centered mixed character. It's I'm aware of that character. Or we continue trying to study more of the situation, and we never give a turn to the character. Okay, so he gets left, the character gets left out a lot. Okay, situations, what are kind of obvious, whatever. The character part is not so obvious. Okay, you following this, Katja? Katja said, yeah, how are you guys doing? Where the hell am I?
Following right along, Sensei.
That's Lauren, my shill. Anybody else?
Sensei,
I've been promoted all the way to shill. Thank you, Sensei.
sure. A quick question, Sensei. We can differentiate between character and self.
Wait, wait a minute. What did you say?
I said, and we could also differentiate between character or characters and the self or true self or soul. They're different.
Continuation of character.
Yeah.
Don't have a third one. Now there's a character, there's a secret. Now there's a self.
No.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Remember, the character is the home of the core self, truer self. At first, self is very elusive. I just acknowledge that it's there, but I don't expect much in a certain way until I get to much finer dimensions where truer self is really a something. So what am I saying? Anyway, still, the character body, big sense, is the home for truer self. Okay, is that all right?
Yes, Sensei. Thank you.
Okay. What if? Okay, so the law of the land is because the character and the situation, even in the big sense of the universe, are partners. Okay, more than partners, they overlay each other. That's a hell of a blend, a hell of a harmony. When words like mind, body, harmony are thrown out, they mean that. So in that case, this for me is the great mind, and this is the great body. Okay, mind, body, harmony is when they're both actually allowed to bing bang with each other. Okay, not just an idea about that. You see, oh, you got that idea. You probably had it before you heard me. But it's an idea. It's not the actual experience of it. It's not the actual of it. It's, oh, I know that. I read that in another book. That's nice, but it's not it. I'm sorry, it's not it. You can have these great ideas, but then you got to still kick back here and say, hey, system, what do you want to do with that? What are you getting out of that? What's your sense of anything with what I just philosophically said? And we don't do that part. We think because we understand it or believe it, we got it. And this part never gets a turn. So it's kind of similar to the upper light world and the deeper unknown world. It's kind of similar. All right. So anyway, so we're going to do tonight situation and the character, the centered character, mixing up to be equal to that situation as best as it can at any given moment. Okay. Osensei played big time with this when Osensei said, every day the universe is new. He was referring to this part. And every day I am new. He was referring to this part. Okay, so he was doing it bigly. Every day the universe is new, and every day in that new universe, I am new, equal, and whatever, partaking, sharing, being on the Golden Bridge at that time, whatever. Okay, so in Aikido, let's do a simple kacha. Let's do a simple. We go over this a lot. What's simple? Okay, let's do simple. Entry, boom. Okay, so let's say first I tell the students, okay, we're going to do this move. I'm laying out the situation for them. This situation, she's coming in fair. She's not driving on me. I do a different technique. And I step in this manner. I've just laid out the situation to them. Then I'm asking or expecting them to go, oh, okay, that's the situation. For them to then go to this other piece, not an idea about the piece, this piece. The grounded, centered energies are mixing up, and I want to do it very slowly, very slowly. One day this can be lickety split fast, but don't worry about that now. I want to go through an easy stage at a time. So in this situation, this character is mixing up better, and there's a little better character. This character does the same thing, but my ground is better. That's why she went down so much. I didn't hit her harder. My ground was better. The ground of the character was better grounded. Because the character was better grounded, the situation was handled better. Is that simple enough? That's sort of our basics. Okay. Let me see. Let me do a negative aside. See, we don't bring this out clear enough because I think a lot of people don't understand it. They say, now, make sure you put your thumb over here and then twist it a little bit and bring them down. Control them, huh? You got to control them. And now they haven't come really to here. Not really. Not really. Not in the form that we're talking about. Easy. I'm in a situation. I settle, I open. It's mixing, mixing, mixing. As it mixes better, it creates this character. This character now, I feel he's fuller in the back. His ground feels not bad. It feels kind of balanced. Not perfect, but kind of balanced. This is the character, and that better character does it. Okay? Yeah? So take a break a moment. So, as the better character performs better, this control freak is aware of that and learns something. And that's when it says, oh, I can do that. And it's like, no, the character does it. Okay, so it's confusing. So I want to make this second piece, the character, and clearer, give him his turn clearer, try to get the pattern, the beat, the timing of it clearer. Okay? Where are we? Anybody, anything? I've got a lot to say here, but I'm for a moment. Anything basic?
Sure, I got something to say. I'm trying to parse what you're saying, and what I hear is this character is a level or a degree of just a little more subtle, and it's recognizing that, it's hanging out with that, not going anywhere is different. It's the mix, but it's not saying, it's chilling, saying like hush, like you say, quiet, don't go anywhere else different, just be here. If you want to go to another level, wait.
Okay, stop. Don't get too far ahead of me. Yeah, and that's why we say, okay, everybody in class, let's stay at this level.
Right.
Till this character has a chance to feel he can retain himself for long periods of time. So that's why we have you repeat the technique over and over. Maybe we'll insinuate at that speed with that amount of power, so that everybody can get the character at that level to continue to experience itself at that level, to get used to being that character. Is that Sean? Is that okay so far?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're blipping on me. Okay.
He muted.
Oh, sorry.
He muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can, Sean.
Can you? Okay.
Yes.
So that sense of recognizing is what I was talking about last week. I think you could have a whole class on that. This is what you're talking about. The character is the recognition of whatever strata you're on.
It's the character's experience.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Now, when the character experiences something, that information is sent. Remember that one is sent to the awareness identity, okay? And then we lose you for a moment. Bing, come back here. Boom. Okay. So there's an experience. Then there's a natural information about that experience that floats up. And then we get into knowing about it. But if we check your body right there, you can't do it, because you floated off into, I got it. I understand. That's nice. But now to actually function again, it's got to be the character functioning. Okay, let's move on here. So the distinction between the situation and taking our time. Now, the second part, there's a center. We can use ground for reference. Ground, center, and the energies mix up around that center, creating the character. Okay. If you're staying in the same situation, one way we practice is the one I did with Katya. Same attack situation, and I was showing how I can move along to get a better mix for a better level on that same situation. And then again, same situation. She doesn't change the power or angle, or doesn't try to screw me over at that time, because I'm working on something. I'm working on how I move from a Bobby to a Robert to a Nadeau in Aikido sense. And I just want to check and see how that works. Okay, so for you to change the direction of the attack or something, not now. That's a different angle on a practice. Not now. I want to get some process within the character's realm. Susan mentioned that last week. She thought something like how nice it was that in her early days with me in Aikido, how, I don't know, I think I laid that out well to her, that improvement of the character, bing, bing, bing. Improved character does that same thing better. Is that okay? Yeah? Okay, now let's do situational change. Miss Katja. Opa. Okay. Then we introduce eventually a situational change. So let's say we've done this for a half an hour. And this entering guy, whatever you want to call this character, boom. He's pretty good. He's getting fuller and fuller. He's getting pretty good, fuller and fuller. Now, to show how things work, someplace around in here, I might go, okay, we've been straight. Whatever you want to call that guy. Okay. Now the situation is changing a bit. She's a little more circular. Because she's a little more circular. So you stay over there so I can move. Dummy, eh? So circular. Okay. Now what I'm saying is, situation just changed. Now here's where we screw it up, muddle it up. I got to figure out this change so I can do, I'm okay. No, don't stay there so long. Situation has changed. System. I'll give you the full stage. This is the full stage for the system to mix up. Oh, she's coming in more circular. Oh, I'm more naturally moved in relation, circular. Okay, and then again, continuing that. Now let's get better on the circular lineage. Don't know if that's the right word. Easy, settle, open, centered, mixes up finer energies, and I feel more fuller right now. Fuller circular person. So I changed the situation and then reminded you, make sure the character has time to change. Okay, I take a break. Thank you. And I've told you this in many forms through the years. The very good CEO who's good having a character CEO, or he controls the company well. And he comes home and he doesn't change characters. He's still the CEO. Probably his wife hates him and spending all of his money, has a boyfriend on the side. The kids don't like daddy at all because he's CEO. You come home, you have to clear because you need a different character to be at home. You have to be daddy. You have to be the loving husband. You have to change characters. Okay? So I've told you those stories in many different forms over and over through the years. The situation has changed. The character wants to change. We want to facilitate that. We don't want to stay too long in being a CEO. Why are we spending so much time in that? Changes. I'd like to get people to be a little faster and a little fuller with the changes. So it's not a half-ass change. I'm the CEO, and I know I should be a nice guy at home with my wife. Okay, I'll try to be a nice guy. It's not the fullness of the character. It's an idea of how I should be. You see, and we do it half-ass. I'm calling that today muddled. It's muddled. You got maybe a little touch on this system, but you're really much more into that, and it's muddled. I like to clear out the muddle. That's the situation. This is the character. And Patrick, I think that's what I was getting out of Susan's. What's the word we're using? Her lineup. Yeah. That in that lineup, I'm pretty sure Susan was doing that or something very akin to that. Susan, are you on tonight?
She is on.
Yes, I am.
Here.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am
we're
here.
Going over your words lining up. You heard what I just said?
I did.
Okay, yay or nay or a clarification from your
Yes.
use of those words?
Yeah, lining up to the situation.
Yeah. I can't hear you.
I'm afraid she's frozen. Please.
Whatever that means.
We're going to turn off the video so she can hear her audio.
Okay. Susan?
Susan, you're muted somehow.
Can you hear
Oh,
me?
there you are.
Yes,
Yep.
there you are. Okay, so
Can
I'm
you hear me
seeing-
now?
Yes, I hear you. You're clear. We got you.
Okay.
Okay, so again, let me reiterate that when you were putting a lot of emphasis on lining up, my sense was that you were saying, okay, that's the situation. This here is the character. And that's what you were doing in lining up. Correct me, because I'm saying that's what you were doing. Is that what you were doing?
That is very correct.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm appreciating as you're talking how much. Okay. Thank you.
You can tell us what you were appreciating. Okay.
I was appreciating as you're talking how really critical it is to line up to the situation. The situation can't support you as a character if you don't line up to it.
Yeah, we need, okay, how I used to say that was, and I'd say it in an old fashioned Nadeau form, bear with me, Susan, you've heard this many times before. It's going to be hard to improve your tennis game, having that character be there for tennis, if you're worrying about who's sleeping with your wife. If that's too harsh for you people, change it to worrying about your job next week. Is going to interfere with this character because you're not giving it the full stage to be a tennis player. You're muddling it up with different thoughts that are not related to this. So I think Susan, again, is saying the clarity of lining up, saying that's the situation. This in here, inner sensing, center energies, mixing, boom. Okay, I think that sounded clear to me. People, are we clear with that? Yeah. So again, I think we need clarity on two different pieces, the situation, the character that's going to mix according to the situation. And if we continue, it will mix better and better so you can have a great one in the situation. Oops, story time. A story you may not have heard. Somebody brought Osensei to a golf course, handed him a golf club. Okay, now here's the situation. You're on a golf course. Now here comes the character. Character gets mixed. It's a Osensei golfer. He hits first time ever a hole in one. I asked him about that, and he jokingly said, "What else could it be?" Really get this. What else could it be? Okay, so here's a first timer who never swung a golf club. He said he had seen, maybe on TV, but he had never swung a golf club. Boom, a hole in one. And he could have done it all day long. I know, I'm sure. Okay. But he had fun with stuff like that, to take little odds and ends and show how this situation, character, how they mix and how fancy, how great it produces. Okay, so that's Osensei being fancy, but following that same pattern. We're going to start a little bit smaller, take our time. Okay, now in getting the character to be a better character, we settle, open. If we don't settle, we might still be thinking about all this stuff. So settling, hopefully, infers here-ness. Now you can be here and be here thinking, but I mean more here feeling. Here feeling. See, I'm shifting from the thinking, whatever brain, going into closer to the feeling level brain. Feel sensing, say is next. Where I begin to sense some activity. Now I can interject center. Energy's moving up and down, mixing up a better character. Okay. Now, forgot where I was going there, but now back to settling and opening are requisites for doing this. Getting a better ground helps stabilize the center. So center and ground are buddies. They're connected. Better the ground, the better the center. Better the center, the more distinct the ground. Okay, so they're in relationship. Good working partners or something. All right. Now, why I had to introduce to you the monster theory of this weird stuff under is because to activate this character, it's those energies, okay, are major. And we cannot activate those energies to mix up a better character if you're afraid of some of them. Oh, not that energy. Nope, not that one. Oh, I'll take a little bit of this one. So I can't help you to mix up a better character if you have confusions about the underworld energies. If they're a monster, ain't no way you're going to let a monster mix up in your system. You're going to keep it away. But it's a vitamin. If you don't take the vitamin, it's vitamin C. If you don't allow vitamin C, you're going to have scurvy. Okay? But some people, they've got a bad history with vitamin C. It coincided with something else and they got confused. That's bad. Okay? So I had to introduce this sense of being on friendlier terms with this energy so it could more fully mix, and the finer, deeper levels of it could mix up a better character. Okay? I had a technique here and I forgot what it was. Slipped my mind. Yes, that one. Thank you. She's sharp. I like that lady. I think I'll keep her. So this is the dumb one that I show. Let's see what the angle is here. Let's shift a little bit. Yeah, okay. This one. So again, we should take it slow. Okay, here's the situation. And again, I tell students, now we're going to go he and ha. That's the situation, okay? Now all you guys highlight full stage just for the character. Don't be trying to study the situation now. Oh, if you're brand new, maybe I'd like to study it for a moment. I think I've said that before in class. I'll give you a moment to study it. But I really don't, I don't know if I really should do that because you'll continue to study it to improve. And the character won't get a turn. Not really. It'll be a dribble. It won't really be the fullness of the character. So how I like to lay it out is, okay, down, good ground, from the ground center. And I just keep things straight as my reference, okay? And again, same amount of pressure, same situation, continuing with the character, good ground center. Okay, for me, the ground felt a little bit more distinct and the center felt a little fuller, for example. Same technique, same amount of pressure, still highlighting the character, easy. Character down, character up. I really like that one. I like the Kacha liked it too.
if you went under me.
Oh, she said, well, that character was so much fuller, I was under her. Easier to bring her up if I'm under her. It's like a weed, hard to pull a weed sometimes. You got to get under it to pull it out. She's kind of weedy. Anyway, so I just use that to establish that level character who does it basically straight. Then as we continue, same everything, but I'm getting better and better. What will happen is it'll go down good, and then it'll start to come up spiraling a little bit. Okay. All right. So if I continue, that would show. Okay. Or I might see everybody at a very good level of straight and say to them, okay, cool, folks, be ready for a spiral there. And I might show them soon, because you're all looking good, it's going to begin to spiral. Okay. All right. But now, don't do, oh yeah, spiral, I can do a spiral. Don't go there. Continue with its character. Okay, at this level, soon it's going to spiral. Boom, there, oh yeah, oh yeah. And I begin to feel this as a character, feel this spiral as a character. It's easy to spiral. If we have Aikido teachers out there, I don't like this thing of trying to teach a newer person, spiral it. Because then they go into, I got to do spiral. What I try to do is first, basic, simple, straight. After a while, it all on its own will begin to spiral. You following me so far? Then I lay out a story. This is the same as the old smoothbore rifles. There are, whatever, 100 years of a rifle with a smooth bore. And eventually somebody caught on to rifling, which is a spiral within the bore. And they realized when they had a spiral in the bore, the bullet went out straighter, longer, better. Okay? So rifle guys were much more dangerous than musket guys. All right? So the snipers in those days had a rifle, not a musket, right at that crossover point. So a spiral will naturally happen. You start straight, and after a while, say, wait a minute, this spirals. It'll naturally happen as you get to this better level. Character will experience it. Okay? So now here we are at boom, where this begins to spiral. As we continue with the character, improving the character, character next. It itself goes a bit deeper. And now it's beginning to spiral stronger, and I think earlier. So where we start to get to next is where, boom, it's already spiraling. And it's really spiraling. Okay? Which is different than, I got to spiral Katja, and I got to get her. You're coming back out into this land. It's not, you're really moving out of character. Right? Yes, there's some body there doing, but it's not the freedom of the character. It's me telling my body to do this. And some people believe that. I tell my body to do it. And it looks like, but if you really, really fine tune things, the body. And again, after a while, the spiral starts. Even now, she's already caught in the spiral. Okay. So the spiral got so strong in and around the character that she was starting to get caught up now. Okay. Then you go into Osensei's level, which is plus past this, where I don't have to use my arms. I do it to show you guys what I'm doing, but I don't really have to use my arms, because in his level, They get caught up in a spiral, come in, be thrown out. He wouldn't have to do anything. But he said, you won't know what I'm doing, so I'll use my arms to help facilitate things here. Osensei story. Noah was telling me about Roy Suanaka, nice guy. I was like Roy. Aikidoist, I met him in Japan. He's out of Hawaii. He started a big group in Southwest or someplace. Lost touch. So I don't know if he's alive or dead now, but he was a cool guy. He was there when Osensei was visiting Hawaii. And Bob, tell the story.
Yes, Sensei. So they were at a luau, at a big luau on an estate. Well, Sensei, not being a real party guy, wanted to take a walk on the beach.
Okay.
So they said, Roy, you go along with Osensei. So they're walking along the beach. Roy's a big guy, strong martial artist. And he thought, gee, right now I think I could take him. As soon as that thought crossed his mind, Osensei stopped walking and looked at him and said, it's not good for you to have those kind of negative thoughts. And he was so shocked by the energies that created that he fell down.
Okay. So situation changed. Roy changed the situation by saying, I think I could get him now. Change the situation. Sensei's system responded. I have to make believe this. Responded in a martial arts sort of manner. So he knew somebody was thinking of attacking. There's only Roy there, ain't nobody else there. So he said that. You shouldn't think those kinds of thoughts. And he added that little extra bit. And if you had continued, you would have fallen down. So he didn't say that, but it happened. I think it was Osensei saying, and by the way, you would have fallen down. You know. Thank you, Bob. All right. Osensei stories. Okay. More clarity on character. Learning to settle and open, which positions us better in dealing with that part of the universe, that part of where we're at, to realize more and more that the energies are friendly, supportive, intelligent, and to let them be there. I'm suggesting that we really don't be in a rush at first, that we really take our time. Slow it down more than slow, little pieces at a time repetitively to get a flavor for this, okay? We do a bit of that again in the Aikido, do a simple move and do it again and again and again. Hopefully, we're reminding the students we're working character now. We're working character. Because something's going to happen where they get caught up in the situation or the world around them. And it's like, yeah, but not character. We're working character now. So as I said to Sean before, or Sean brought up, when we do that, the character gets to establish himself better and retain himself better without blipping. Okay. I think we said that with Florida, with you establish a pretty good character with that patient and you retain that level of you. So when you went out into the world, nicer things beyond the norm were continuing to happen. Yes, we retain that level character of you. Okay. Now, if the situation had changed, then the character remixes potentially. Again, Osensei said split second. Okay, but don't you worry about that. Get the sense of deeper base energies mixing, fuller feeling, boom. And easy, still on the character, still on the character. Dot. I thought Susan laid that out quite well Friday with the situation is cutting wood. Now the character, and then she did something. Character. And she said she was happily surprised at how fast and how nice the energies were responding. And I'd say, yeah, and as we get more advanced with this, not only will you hear them and see them and sense them as being better, but they'll have bing mixed up better. So that'll happen as you continue with what you're doing. Okay, but just to know they're nice and friendly and right on the button, the forms in which they were shaping, the qualities that they were bringing in, she realized that's perfect. Whoa, I never would have thought of that. That's perfect. That it's smart stuff when it mixes up. Okay.
Sensei, I was also impressed by something else that Susan said, and that is that sometimes it's not obvious at first, and it has to be remixed a second or a third time until it's clearer.
Yeah. Yeah. So even if I do a pass, I do one, if I can't feel anything yet, that's okay. That was one. Then I do it a second time. If I don't feel anything, it's okay. But sure as hell, if I'm doing it right, I will begin to notice or have an experience of something at that level. So I don't panic if I'm not sure or couldn't fully experience something. Uh, um, that's why, again, take your time. Don't be in a rush. Repeat it and repeat it. Like cutting wood, you don't cut wood for 4 minutes usually, let's say. Cut wood is going to be at minimum a half an hour, minimum. Cut any amount of wood, okay? You got time to play and let it mix up better and better. So within that half hour of cutting wood, you should definitely have felt the improvement of the character. So we should have things that aren't just a moment, because you may not notice in a moment. But if you have something, at first, maybe the dumber the better, cutting wood, dumb. But just to see how cool this process is. It's exciting. Yeah.
Sensei,
Yo.
I'm wondering if I'm using the correct words here. If so when you go through this mix, there's a greater sense of fullness, and you and in recognizing that, you repeat it like you do in class again and again until it becomes more cogent or coherent. Or
hold a second. Hold a second. Hold a second.
Yep.
Careful of the word recognize.
Yes.
Because I can't tell if you, oh, I see that.
Right.
I recognize that. And you're over here.
Yep. Just awake to it. Just
continue the feeling experience.
Yep.
In it is its own recognition. Yeah. So careful of certain words because I recognize her over there. It's experiential. Go ahead.
How about if it's more coherent in oneself? You feel the coherence.
Okay. I don't know what that word means. It means something to you, so I can't help us.
Yep. Okay, that's great.
Your word.
Thank you.
It's your word.
Thank you.
If you're saying I'm being coherent here in my experience, and I see the body fade, or your awareness shift over here and look at the body, I'll say, no, man. At which time I may pull your ass over to make the point. You ain't here anymore. You went off into la-la.
Thank you.
It should be how I'd like it to be. Body, system. Yep. What are you going to do here? What are you getting out of this situation? Okay. Yeah. I tried to give you a little taste of this when Corona came up. Corona's a situation that is crowding the shit on us. Now, properly, this system, character, will want to develop to be in its form equal to the situation, whatever that means. Now, we've got a variety of reactions to Corona. We have some people that fought it from the beginning and never stopped fighting it. Okay. Then we have others who did a little something with the character, and in that downtime, which is characters beat here now, and that they got calmer or nicer or friendlier with the family, and they say, "Ooh, you know, it was almost nice that Corona came through because I'm getting along better with my family." Change of character. Okay. Now Corona continues and continues, and like, oh my God, is this never going to end? That just tells me more character, because the character, earlier character, can't contend with on and on and on. Oh, just means time, because the situation has changed. It keeps going on. In California, in my area, they're battening down the hatches more this week. You know, pretty soon we won't be able to take takeout at the rate they're going. All right. At which time I react. Oh, time to get the next level of character. So clear, so that character can have, I say, the full stage without any interruptions from, but what's it going to do and whatever. Okay. I want to do a group practice. Everybody stand up. Okay. Yeah. Okay. The practice is, okay, let's make believe we're in a situation. Just say it. A situation that's semi-dangerous or something. We're in a situation, whatever it may be. You don't have to worry about the details of that. Just that situation. Okay. Now I want to change to giving full stage to the character. Okay. What stops me? What slows me down? As I'm doing a negative sense of things. What stops me where I can't even get started at doing the character, or slows me down to where I just get a dribble and a drabble of character? I really don't get anything comparable to the fullness a character would like to be.
Trying to make a plan would slow you down.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, here's a dangerous situation happening. I got to make a plan about it. You see, we're staying up in the situation area, trying to make a plan about the situation, when that is character's job. So we hang out here too long, character never gets a chance to have the stage. So thank you, somebody. Stops you dead in the water, slows you down, interferes with the situation. Say what?
Worry.
Worrying. For example, worry in what manner? What kind of worrying thoughts?
Worried that I'm going to get hurt.
In the situation.
Yeah, if it's a dangerous situation,
Okay.
for example,
All right.
I might worry that I'm going to get hurt.
Yes, gotcha. Here's where we begin to expand. Oh, bad situation. I might get hurt, and then I'll be in the hospital for 6 months, and then I won't be able to collect unemployment after a while, and I'll lose my boyfriend, and you're going on and on and on in the area of the situation. Character will never get a turn. So it's like enough is enough. Okay, situation, bing, character. I don't think we have to elaborate on the situation. I think when we do that, we're trying to find the answer or take care of things when you're killing this part, which wants its turn. Now, see, one reason we can think about those weird thoughts like getting hurt and on and on and on is we're getting a lot of energy, which is really the energy of mixing up the character, but we don't let the character mix. We're not staging for it. So the energy continues and pushes it into even crazier thoughts, endless. Okay? Right? So that's why I asked you another Friday to recognize when you're being pushed, because I wanted you to catch, these energies that are pushing you, I think it would be nice if we catch them earlier and say, ooh, there's a push. Okay, energies, what are you trying to do here? And they're trying to mix up a better character. Okay, character can move better, character that can sense things better, whatever. Okay, yeah. So maybe one more time, you're in a bad situation. Why can't we just instantly clear and have the character mix up? Hey, what slows you down? What stops you? Nobody, nothing?
Perhaps mistaking the map for the territory.
Okay. Yeah, the map. Yeah. You see, as soon as I lay a map out, I know what a lot of people are going to do with it. Oh, I understand. There's no understanding here in that sense. It's understand that there's data, and then equal to it is deep. Okay. But what we do in the human condition is we understand it. We think we got the whole package. Drives me up the wall because it's a human condition. I see it over and over and over again. Yes, Sensei, I understand. Well, give me a little something. No, I understand. I see. Okay. Human condition. We keep doing that. We're potentially doing the same thing here. Put all of our attention in the situation when it's just situation, character. That relationship, again, that's fast. Now, I want you to take your time with mixing up the character and see how it performs better, slowly, step at a time. But really, it's pow. Okay? Yeah? Ooh, eating up time. Damn, it goes by so fast. Stories. Noah was telling me a Chen Man-ching. Chen Man-ching is a big name. One of the fantastic guys in Chinese arts, Tai Chi, fighting Tai Chi, not the exercise, per se Tai Chi. For those that don't know, Tai Chi originally is a fighting art, which got translated for the folks into an exercise art. But in fighting Tai Chi, that means something. You're blocking something, you're guiding something. All those moves have a martial art meaning. Anyway, Chen Man-ching, top of the line guy. To keep studying the situation, Chen Man-ching said, it's a fool's errand to do that. Trying to figure it out. They're trying to overstudy the situation when right at that moment, bing, the character is trying to mix to be there, to handle it at that level. Okay, so thank you, Mr. Noah, for that input. So again, over and over, if we can just distinguish situation, fine. Now, by law, there is this half of the equation, which is the character, mixing up a better character. Excuse me. You don't have to tell the character how to be. That's the character's job. But because we tend to dominate a little bit here, and I want the character to do this and be that, and I don't do that. Character. What are you getting out of this situation? What are you developing about this situation? I don't tell it what it should be. Okay. I don't tell it what qualities it should have. Okay. Not if I'm just doing getting the habit of letting the character show more and more how intelligent it is, how it mixes these energies properly. Okay. You're going to get different energies visiting a dying friend in the hospital than you will going to the racetracks. Okay. The energy's smart. It's not going to give you racetrack, hey, energy visiting your dying friend. It's smart stuff. You don't have to tell it what to do. As soon as there's a situation, it's already trying to activate. You don't have to sort of direct how to do it. Maybe you say, help, or maybe you say, okay, Shazam. But you don't order it around. It's its own thing. We'll get finer and finer and finer to show that it's a major half of creation plus. So don't slow it down with your desires and ideas of what it should be. Give it free stage. It'll mix up great. And if we check back with Susan, she was starting to catch that. Not only how fast it was starting to get, but how smart it was. How it was mixing up. She realized was perfect for where she was in her wood cutting process. So to practice with, for lack of words, dumb things, to see how this develops and develops and develops. Okay. And how your philosophy changes along the way. You go from cutting the wood to maybe someplace after a while there's a certain level of character where, boom, the wood got cut. Somebody could say, wow, you really chopped that piece nice. And that level being would say, it got cut. I didn't cut it. It got cut. Whole different thing. But you have to be at that level. You see, here again, people want to memorize that story. Okay? I said, that's nice, but this part has to have for those next moments at least, full stage to be a full character. And we slow it down with thinking, oh, I heard that story. I can repeat that story. You see, that's nice, but this half, I don't know if half is a good word, this piece, critical. And we're a little bit behind on it. Okay, we're eating up our time. Real quick, I was bouncing off of Oakland Amy, as opposed to Florida Amy. Oakland Amy, who was saying, in the woods, that's a situation. She feels better. I like being in the woods. Now, what would be nice for us not to just, oh, in this situation, I feel better. That's okay. I'm not going to take that away from you. But if you have the interest to go deeper into the character, deeper, feel better, and what? What are you getting out of being in the woods? And there's a much more character that can show in that situation than us just stopping at the first niceness of it. I'm not taking the niceness away. I'm just saying nice people should process also. And we tend not to in the human condition. It's like, I feel good, leave me alone. I don't want to do a process, I feel good. But if we process, there's a chance of feeling better. And if we process again, there's a chance of feeling great instead of good. But we tend not to, okay? You tend to be more interested in a process when you're hurting or all screwed up than the sense of doing a process you might be interested in because you're hurting and things are all screwed up and that. But it'd be good to practice also with the good stuff. I'm sure in my history, when I woke up out of nowhere just feeling good, I just didn't be happy with I'm feeling good. I mean, it was nice. I feel good. But I'm kind of a researcher. I'd say, that's not my normal. What's the finer of that? What's really going on here? And I didn't have the words as character like we have now, but I would check in with the character and saying, hey, where are you coming from? Because I'm feeling good. What are you up to? What are you mixing? And is there more of that? and I would research or inquire more. Okay, so I'm a researcher, I'm an inquirer. I just don't take it as face value. I feel good, leave me alone, asshole. Okay, not quite my style. I'm not saying I'm perfect and all that, but anyway. Okay, now then Amy, who enjoyed being in the woods, I say that to her, if you have a mind to, let's go more with the character, using the process we're talking here. Then she further added, and I can't do it in the city. Okay. And it's like, okay. So I would say in situations that you like, I'm not going to take them away from you. If you like taking a week to be on the beach on Kauai, go for it. Okay, I'm not taking it away from you. But if you have a mind to, give the character a turn. Okay. And in a lousy situation, she said, in the city, well, I think of my neighborhood in the city, dirty. The people are dirty. The streets are dirty. Yeah. Okay. How that could crowd me a bit. Okay. But again, if I do the same thing, lousy, dirty situation. Character, your turn. Give it some room, and the character mixes up. And in my case, what I get immediately is a Mr. Clean character. I just feel wider and clean. So here I am, a clean inner in a dirty neighborhood. Then as I continue, next level of character, still in the dirty neighborhood, next level of character, he gets better following that pattern. He gets, I don't say pure. Then my feeling starts to happen there where, oh my God, I'm affecting this neighborhood, the people in this neighborhood, just walking through the neighborhood by being Mr. Clean or Mr. Pure. Just that what is it, a vibe that I'm affecting them. I don't have to talk to them. I don't have to tell them what to do. Just my very presence. So that's that energy vibration. It really feels like it affects them. I can't prove it, but again, I've had people come up to me in this dirty neighborhood, come up to me because I stay outside in front of the dojo, give the students a break. And more than once, one of the guys, locals from the neighborhood, had said, I really like you guys being here, as if you affect the neighborhood or you affect me. And I heard that from more than one guy, at least a few. Took the time to come up to me. They say they really appreciated the dojo being there, me being there. So I think that's a effect. All right, does that sort of follows? We're running out of time. Anything before we finish?
Say, most recently, one of the things that I have noticed when I'm working with people, I go to a lot of companies in different office types, cultures, and so on.
Okay. Situation.
And some time ago, I was having a lot of conflict on all of them. What I realized then was I was trying to put principles into every place the same way. Until one of the clients told me, why don't you try something different with us? And that's when I understood that I can bring a lot. And I was starting to humble myself. Yeah. What is going on? Yeah. Why? I know I can do it and go on. Yeah. But then after that, I start recently then things have changed and actually more clients are coming in. So the understanding that I had to take was to see where I was coming with a preset DNA every time, not like every day. Hey, come DNA, on, this
we're
day
running out of time.
I have to learn how it is.
DNA.
Sorry.
Okay.
But good.
Just to finish that. Anytime. Just to finish that up. Sometimes we get caught up in a pattern that worked, and I remember that pattern. I can repeat that pattern. And then you're carrying that pattern into this situation and it doesn't work well, is what I heard him say. Okay. See, here's where you're trying to do a technique, but the situation is all wrong. But I know this technique and I'm good at this technique. Yeah, but not in this attack situation. And he punches the shit out of you. You're trying to do this thing that you learned, but not now. You should have let the character rise to the occasion for that situation, the here and now immediacy of it. So what I heard Vianney say was, once he realized he was doing that and he stopped doing that, he gave hopefully room to the character to have some freedom to be the character for that company at that moment. Okay, so that's how you could practice, before you walk into the company. You take a moment and you allow the character for that company. Now remember, characters are very smart. They know things about the company that aren't obvious to you yet. I trust the intelligence of this stuff. I trust the far-seeingness of this stuff. I trust it. How did I get to trusting it? I did dumb little stuff and saw nothing but improvement, improvement, improvement. I'll trust it forever and a day. Okay, the process. I think we ate up our time. So next week, again, doesn't have to be questions, comments, whatever, but give me a break. I'll just bounce off of you. But let's hear what you have to say. We've been at this stuff for a lot of Fridays. We've covered so much material. I can't believe everything is totally clear to you, or you haven't had some experience playing around with being grounded or centered or whatever. I'd like to hear how you're doing. I loved last week. Catherine jumped in with a bunch of dirty dishes. Oh, situation, and I don't care too much for that situation. Okay, character gets mixed. Who actually doesn't mind doing this? Who actually, it's not a philosophy that's forced on you. Hey, in this Zen school, you have to love washing dishes. Okay, I'll make believe I love washing dishes because I want to be a member of this Zen school. But I hate it. Really deep inside, you hate it. But you can't say anything because you're in the Zen school and you're supposed to love washing dirty dishes. I want the actual, and the actual, I say, as it improves, we'll be fine washing dishes. That's why I made that joke, which was not a joke at the end. That character will say, oh, hell, am I finished? Aren't there any more dirty dishes? Seriously. The character is so there for it, so good at it. Okay, so thank you, Catherine, for bringing that one up. I think we'll finish, yeah?